Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Voice of the Markets Thailand Industry 4.0 Forum. I am Nupat and I'm pleased to be your host today. This forum is brought to you by Constellar Exhibitions, the organizer of the regional premier Industry 4.0 event platform called Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific, or ITAP in short. The platform is developed to support regional manufacturing industry and businesses in their digitization and industrial transformation journeys. Today, Industry 4.0 Forum is a part of a series of country-focused events and designed to highlight key Industry 4.0 initiatives in Thailand, also to promote understanding of the issues facing manufacturing businesses in medtech, automotive and EV, electrical and electronics industries, as well as potential opportunity for collaboration. By now, we are all familiar with the impact of COVID-19 on global travel. With border closed and business travel grinding to a halt, we have and strengthen relationships across the borders. With our series of country-focused Industry 4.0 forums, we hope to encourage the regional Industry 4.0 partners, industry members, supporting associations and public sector agencies to participate at ITAP, which will be happening on 22nd to 24th of November 2021. To start with today's forum, please join me in welcoming Mr. James Boyd, Executive Director of Constellar Exhibitions, to give his opening remarks. James, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nupat. Sawadee Krap. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to start by thanking Marius Maynard, Deputy Executive Director of German-Thai Chamber of Commerce, our speakers, partners, German-Thai Chamber of Commerce, Enterprise Singapore, and all supporting organizations. As part of our regional roadshows, we have discussed the turning point for the future of manufacturing for Indonesia and Malaysia over the last 2 months. And today, we turn the spotlight on Thailand. Let me start by stating that COVID-19 has been part of our lives for more than a year now. And many of us are still trying to navigate the COVID pandemic. For Thailand, we too have been following closely with your developments. The manufacturing sector in Thailand is an important one with more than 63,000 factories and a manufacturing workforce of 6.3 million. We are aware that the strongest impact has been on the automotive sector in Thailand, and many other sectors too have declined, such as petroleum products, malt beverages, and other FMCG products. On the other hand, we know some sectors have also done well, like concrete and cement for the construction sector, the medicine, semiconductors, frozen seafood, and animal feed. We can appreciate the challenges faced by all manufacturers and companies in the supply chain, but the question remains on how we can all pivot and get out of the woods. This morning, we have assembled a lineup of speakers to share on their experiences and success stories on how manufacturers like you can develop a turnaround strategy to drive innovation, productivity, and build business resilience. We have seen examples of those who have scaled their Industry 4.0 deployment prior to COVID-19. They are all finding themselves better positioned to respond to the crisis. So let's hear from them at the panel discussion and the roundtable sessions. Finally, in conclusion, I'd like to extend an invitation for all of you to visit our 4.0 Trade Fair, Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific, which will be held from 22nd to 24th November 2021. We are indeed making plans for all overseas visitors to join us physically at the event, and we'll share more information in the next few weeks. So see you in November. Thank you, everyone. Kapung Kap.
Thank you, James. Before we continue to the next welcome note speakers, I just want to remind every participant that this online platform is translated simultaneously into Thai, so you can switch by using interpreter tabs and select your preferred output language. Now, let's welcome Mr. Marius Menner, Deputy Executive Director of German-Thai Chamber of Commerce, or GTCC, to share his opening remarks. Mr. Menner, please.
Yeah, Nupat, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Sawadee Krap. Dear Mr. James Boy, Executive Director, Constellar Exhibitions, dear speakers, dear supporting partners from associations, institutes, and of course, bilateral chambers. And of course, dear audience. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you today to this online event, ITAP Thailand Industry 4.0 Forum. We are delighted to actively support this high-level event, given that GTCC is the official representative of the Deutsche Messe and thus Hannover Messe here in Thailand. Thailand has come a long way since industrialization took off on a larger scale at the back end of the 1980s. Today, Thailand is one of the world's leading production hubs in the fields of automotive and electronics. In order to stay competitive, Thailand is pushing forward with its Thailand 4.0 strategy, with the goal to move up the value chain. Today, we will have the opportunity to gain insights on these higher value industries, in particular looking at next generation automotive and electronics. Here, advanced manufacturing systems play a key part in areas such as smart factories, the industrial IoT, advanced robotics and artificial intelligence, and as well as cloud computing applications for manufacturing. As we are building up these systems and manufacturing ecosystems, it will require more investments in IT infrastructure, but also in skills training. Many emerging countries like Thailand face challenges on their way to Industry 4.0 due to a shortage of industry-ready skilled workers. The development of human capital is one of the key success factors in order to achieve Industry 4.0. The German-Thai Chamber of Commerce is supporting Thai and German member companies in the field of dual vocational training with its GTD program. Here we are supporting member companies in the automotive sector in accordance with the German standards. One of the highlights is bringing the German mechatronics standards to Thailand. Mechatronic engineering, as we all know, is essential in the development of Industry 4.0. We are currently finalizing a textbook that is based on the long-standing experience and best practices from Germany in the field of mechatronics, and that will be completely translated into the Thai language. The book covers all the contents that is required for the topics of Industry 4.0. So if interested, please feel free to contact us. On this note, I would like to thank Constellar, the organizer, Deutsche Messe, Hannover Messe as the international partner, and all supporting partners and speakers for contributing to this high-level event today. And of course, I would like to thank also as well the audience for joining. I wish all of us an interesting and insightful event. Khop kun kap. Sawadee krap.
Thank you, Mr. Menner, for your welcoming message. So before we proceed to our keynote segments, please join me in watching a short video featuring some of the exciting highlights at Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific 2021 event in this November. We hope the video helped to provide good idea of what you can expect to see at the November event. And we hope that you will make plan to visit us then. Now I'm very pleased to introduce our first keynote speakers, Mr. Sakda Sarapat Pithaya, the Vice President of Thai Automation and Robotics Association, or TARA, who will share his perspectives on Thailand industrial transformation outlook from various industry sectors. Mr. Sakda, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. ขอบคุณครับ and good morning everybody. Okay, actually I have the representative from the Thai Automation and Robotics Association that we would like to share you for the experience industrial transformation between the pandemic situation right now. Okay, we can go for the next slide that you can see for this. We would like to explain to you a part of who we are, our member, and what is the technical from the business and membership. And we will go through by the target industrial and also together with Thailand 4.0 concept. And the last one that is very important, how can make the sample for the industrial transformation. And we will show you for a part of the pandemic and the healthcare. A part of the EV and also electronic, you can go through the breakout session room later on. Okay, next please. Okay, as mentioned, TARA or Thai Automation Robotics Association, we are Thai company and also be invited with the professional who specialize in automation. And right now, by this year, we also welcome the company that related with the automation and robotic system, not only include for the Thai company as well. That we would like to have more member, more close with the ecosystem in Thai automation and also robotic system. Next please. Here we will show you for the TARA member and also business Thai. On the left hand side, you can see the business Thai that 31% is system integrator and around 20% they are the seller, and also include for the machine maker 17% and also together with the designer as well, and also software developer and the rest for around 3%. Right hand side, you can see for the membership technical skill, also system integrator around 20% of the member, and also around 10 to 20 included with industrial robot, service robot, machine maker, vision, image processing, software, industrial IoT, ERP, and also warehouse AGV included for drone and UAV as well. Next please. Okay, in our TARA member, we are combined registered capital right now until 18 August is around 2,400 million Thai baht for the capital. And also we have TARA member together with the membership right now around 5,000. And we hope that we can have more and more for the collaboration in the future together and expand for the Thailand 4.0. Next please. Okay, our objective, this is very key. We are the private company that we would like to cooperate between buy and sell, and also corporate business between member. And also important one is we have to create collaboration between public and private and government sector as well. And the last one that we promote the technology development, also together with the research, innovation, even for the training and consulting as well. Next please. Okay, this can show you for the technical capability that you can see later on this. I will go for the next, is the quite important one. Next please. Okay, here also this is target industrial included for the aerospace, agriculture. Today you will get more experience sharing with the automotive and electronic as well. Okay, and for the next slide, we will show you for how can we share the experience and make the industrial transformation. Next please. Okay, as mentioned, we try to align with the Thailand 4.0 that we go with the innovation and driven industrial that try to make the high value added services under the prosperity, security and sustainability in the future for the Thailand. Next, please. Okay, come back for the Thailand 4.0 that the government try to go with the 10S curve. And today we will discuss more further a part of the industrial transformation outlook. We call that we integrated, we interface, and also implementation under robotic, smart electronic, and logistic, digital, and medical hub that you can see for the next one, please. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the industrial transformation under pandemic COVID situation. Here we have got the request from the MOPH department. We call Ministry of Public Health. They are in charge of the field hospital support. We work together for them with the need analysis for the very large field hospital department. We can see that after we review it on site, and we will see that we have at least 4 subsystems that we would like to analyze, and we try to make the focus on the sector that we would like to go through. You can see for the first subsystem, a part of the patient and staff tracking. In this field hospital, they have a lot of the beds, more than 3,000 beds, and they have found the problem that very slow action, a part of the patient tracking. And also they need the patient related with the empty bed that can be the real time in order to forecast and analyze the patient, and also try to have the spare for the outside to come into the field hospital. And also they would like to have the better management between field hospital for this. And the second one, a part of the field hospital logistics, that they would like to reduce the manpower for the caring and nurse and take care for patient only. The third one is a part of the hospital utility management. We manage and combine with the CCTV camera that is not sufficient. Some part that may go with the drone or mobile CCTV. And the last one that is more important as a part of the process information management, they need a part of the interface and integration work for reduce the duplicate workload, and even for the required for the less paperwork. The next slide will show you what is connect and the industrial focus that can be help for the healthcare. Next, please. Okay, you can see that a part of the patient, staff and tracking. As mentioned, Tara integrated, Tara make the interface, and Tara make the implementation. After we review for this requirement, we have to look to cooperation and industrial transformation focus that smart electronic for the tracking system, and also a part of the field hospital logistics. We apply for robot and logistics system as well. A part of the third subsystem is the field hospital utility. We go with the focus of the digital and robotic, and also the process information system with the medical hub. We apply with the digital sector focus for this, and we combine together as mentioned for I3, integrated interface and implementation. That is for this Tara activity and share to you for the knowledge industrial 4.0 and also Thailand 4.0. Next, please. Okay, this is our organization. I have to say thank you for this opportunity from Dr. Prapin, President of Tara, that led me to be the representative for Tara according for this and share your experience for this. Next, please. Okay, in case that you have any question, feel free to come with us, and also you can go to the link of the QR code Line OA in case that you would like to have more news, more question, more anything that you would like to connect with us. Okay, thank you very much for this joining and discussion for the next. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sakdar, for a very insightful message into Thai automation and robotic sectors and current situation, how they tackle the ongoing topics of pandemics. Next, please join me in welcoming Dr. Rachani Gulayanon, Executive Vice President of KMITL Research and Innovation Services, or CRIS, who will speak on how Thailand's medtech sectors is emerging and how it will need to transform to maintain the pace of development. Over to you, Dr. Rachani.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nupat, and good morning, everyone. And before I go into the market sector for the Thailand section, I would like to start off with a story that myself and our colleagues over at KMITL research teams has been experienced from the past 2 years or so. Next slide, please. So if you all remember, at the end of year 2019, the COVID has broken out. And at the time, it was just in China. And none of us could ever imagine how bad the situation would affect everyone in this world like today. And next slide, please. And from that point on, what we have seen was that I talked to several of the my friends doctors around the world, and especially in Thailand. What happened was that when we actually have the outbreak, and it actually come into Thailand, and during the time we start seeing the outbreak of everywhere in the country, around the world. And one thing that we realized was that the medical devices, especially the ventilators, we have seen a lot of patients in COVID-19 that has been in need of ventilators or any other kind of medical attentions from the doctors or personnel. We can't really get to have the access to these kind of equipments. And many of the country has slowed down or even at some point stop importing or exporting these medical devices to countries like in Thailand, for example, where we cannot manufacture these devices on our own. And I'll tell you in a little bit why. So that was when we started off with the story. We started off with the emergency meetings with our president and couple of the board members. And we say we have to help with the society, what we can do. So our strength, we have the School of Engineering, we have the Faculty of Medicine, we have a lot of partners in the medicine industry and a lot of the manufacturing industry. Let's get together. And that's when we first come up in April of 2020, a prototype of the ventilator. And this is really just by talking to a lot of our medical doctors and say, even worse comes worse, we don't have, the high-end ventilators for these COVID-19 patients. At least we let them have the peace of mind. Like, quote unquote, one of my friends, doctor from abroad, he actually mentioned, just let my patient die with dignity, at least with some kind of, equipments to help. And so at that point on, we started off with this prototype in April. And of course, we get a lot of comments, good and bad. And what we really need to challenge ourselves is, this is new to Thailand. Not a lot of these high-end deep tech medical devices has been manufactured in Thailand. So how can we actually make Thai doctors or medical personnel understand that Thai researchers and Thai manufacturers have the standard and has the capability of manufacturing all of these equipments. So we went on, literally one by one of these hospitals, and we talked to each one of them. We demoed the machine, we asked them what they want, if there's anything we can do to modify the machine to make it a little bit more user-friendly. We try to accommodate everyone's comments. So by mid of last year, 2020, we actually come up with the ventilator that was what we call the transport ventilator. These are not the ward ventilators, but it was more for the emergency uses during the crisis, along with almost 20 other medical devices that we come up with at the time. But thankfully, you know, with the help with the partners, with the help with the manufacturers, we actually deliver all of these. And currently we deliver more than 1,000 of these innovations all over Thailand. And next slide, please. And through this journey of trying to create the innovation, trying to manufacture, trying to deliver these in a mass scale to hospitals, we learn a lot of challenges within Thailand. And there are reasons why there are not that many medical devices that you have seen to create in Thailand. One of them, I show it over here. There are some common parts in medical devices. If you can guess, these are the devices that we cannot manufacture in Thailand. We are stuck with importing these. And when last year, when we had to import 10 or 20 of them, no problem. As soon as we order 500, there was a big raised eyebrow from many of the countries and start asking us for a lot of paperwork to see, why are we doing with these? What are you trying to do with this? So this is one of challenge. It's a bottleneck for us. And currently with the COVID situation, the logistics has slowed down. So that increased the challenge for mass producing these devices as well. Next slide, please. And then of course, the standards. The Thailand FDA is complicated enough. And then with the other global international standards that we have to comply as well. So how can we comply with this in a very short time and try to get as many of the standard tested and pass approval before it gets delivered to the hospital? That was one of the also another challenge that we have to talk to, although we have to say we learned quite a lot from this experience. Next slide, please. And then finally, with the help with our partner suppliers, partner manufacturers, and then a lot of our partner in terms of the government sectors to help us with the standardization. Today, at the beginning of this year, we proudly announced that we have a ward ventilator. This is a quality compatible with the ward ventilators in any hospitals we can. And we can deliver to the hospitals in Thailand in their needs. But we do learn three main lessons to this Thai market of the medical devices. And so the first one would be, next slide, please. And so what we really learn is currently Thailand has imported 80% of their medical devices into Thailand for use. And the other 20% are mainly manufacturers from gloves, anything from rubber or any low-cost materials, relatively low-cost material. But high-end stuff such as ventilators, MRI machines, any kind of operation machines, or even, believe it or not, just a mask that we are wearing. Part of it that's inside the mask, we can't manufacture in Thailand ourselves. So why is it that we have to waste over $8 billion each year for the import of medical devices into Thailand? Why isn't it that we can have, Thai manufacturers be able to create these ourselves? And next slide, please. And this is where I want to end my keynote with, is that from what we have seen with the COVID outbreak, it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. So during the COVID, of course, we all have to suffer with this work from home situation, this online that we can't do the face-to-face experience. But at the same time, this opened up another opportunities, because right now, the Thai government, the Thai FDA, a lot of the government start coming back and take a look at what were the challenges of creating Thai medical devices into Thailand. Importing was one, okay? Importing tax. Number two is the standards in which the manufacturers has to endure. And then the last one would be, how can we partner up? So for many of us in the audience today, I believe you are part of the industries. For us, Chris, we are part of the university. So our objective is to create innovations, but we also need a lot of help from every one of you. During our COVID situation, we have the help from our partner companies who supply all these sensors imported expressly, very fast speed to us. so we can manufacture all the devices on time. And then for the manufacturers, we can't mass scale ourselves. We can't mass produce these devices unless you guys are helping with us. So at the end of this, I would like to just welcome everyone to, the medtech market sectors in Thailand. KMITL are creating this King Mongkut Memorial Hospital with the help that we are not just another hospital. We are aimed to create and innovate with medical devices with the help of everyone. Thank you very much. Back to you, Khun Nupat.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rashani. It's very interesting that you share your journey and challenges in building up the medtech sector in Thailand. Very insightful. Thank you very much for sharing this with us.